The impenetrable fortress. In the vast expanse of the Andromeda Galaxy, orbiting a dying star, loomed the infamous Zethkora prison, a colossal structure of gleaming obsidian and pulsating energy fields. For millennia, it had stood as a testament to the advanced civilization that built it, the Arxur Dominion. Their greatest minds had poured eons of knowledge into its creation, fashioning a penal colony that could contain the most dangerous criminals from across the cosmos. Commander Vexorn, a towering insectoid with iridescent carapace, surveyed the main control room with a sense of pride. 6 of his compound eyes focused on the myriad of holographic displays, while the other 6 scanned the bustling room, filled with various alien species working in perfect harmony. Status report. Vexorn chittered, his mandibles clicking rhythmically. A gelatinous being oozed forward, its translucent body rippling with bioluminescent patterns. All systems optimal. Commander, no incidents to report in the last solar cycle. Vexorn's antennae twitched with satisfaction. Excellent, Gloop. As always, Zethkora remains impenetrable. Just then, a shrill alarm pierced the air. Red warning lights bathed the control room in an ominous glow. Vexorn's exoskeleton bristled as he whirled towards the main view screen. "What's happening?" he demanded. An avian alien with prismatic feathers fluttered nervously at its console. "Commander, we're detecting an unidentified vessel approaching at high velocity." "Impossible," Vexorn hissed. "No ship can penetrate our sensor grid undetected. Raise shields and prepare defensive measures." The crew scrambled to comply, but it was too late. A blinding flash illuminated the space around Zethkora, momentarily overloading their visual sensors. When the light faded, a sleek silver spacecraft hovered before them, its hull adorned with an unfamiliar emblem. A blue and green sphere. Arxur's mandibles. Vexorn cursed. What manner of technology is this? Before anyone could respond, a transmission crackled through their communication systems. A face appeared on screen. Bictal, with pale skin and dark hair. The alien's mouth curved into what Vexorn would later learn was called a smile. "Greetings, Zethkora Prison," the creature said in perfect galactic standard. "I am Captain Elena Rodriguez of the United Earth Alliance. We come in peace. Mostly." Vexorn's multifaceted eyes widened in shock. "Humans," he whispered. "The universe's newest spacefaring race. Barely a century into faster-than-light travel, yet already making waves across the galaxy. What is the meaning of this intrusion?" Vexorn demanded, trying to mask his unease. Captain Rodriguez's expression turned serious. "We've come to negotiate the release of our citizens unjustly imprisoned here. We have reason to believe they were falsely accused and denied due process." Vexorn's mandibles clacked in agitation. "Preposterous. Zethkora only houses the galaxy's most dangerous criminals. Your humans were tried and convicted by the Galactic Council itself, a council on which humanity has no representation." Rodriguez countered. "We request permission to land and discuss this matter further." For a moment, Vexorn considered denying their request, but curiosity got the better of him. How had these primitive beings managed to bypass their defenses so easily? Perhaps allowing them inside would provide some answers. "Permission granted," Vexorn said grudgingly. "But be warned, any hostile action will be met with lethal force." Rodriguez nodded. "Understood. We'll see you shortly." As the transmission ended, Vexorn turned to his second-in-command, a serpentine creature named Slith. "Prepare a security detail and meet our guests in Docking Bay 7. I want to know everything about these humans and how they managed to sneak up on us." Slith bowed his scaled head. "It shall be done, Commander." As the human ship glided into the cavernous docking bay, Vexorn couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. Little did he know just how right he was. The airlock hissed open, and Captain Rodriguez stepped out, flanked by 2 other humans, a tall, muscular male and a petite female with fiery red hair. They were clad in form-fitting uniforms that seemed to shimmer and shift, adapting to the alien atmosphere. "Welcome to Zethkora," Vexorn said, his tone carefully neutral. "I am Commander Vexorn. State your purpose here." Rodriguez stepped forward, her posture relaxed but alert. "As I mentioned earlier, Commander, we're here to negotiate the release of our people. But first, allow me to introduce my team. This is Security Chief Marcus Chen." She gestured to the muscular man, "and Dr. Aisha Patel, our xenobiologist and diplomat." Vexorn's antennae twitched, processing the strange names and titles. "Very well. Follow me to the conference room. We have much to discuss." As they walked through the pristine corridors of Zethkora, Vexorn noticed the humans looking around with unconcealed curiosity. Dr. Patel, in particular, seemed fascinated by the various alien life forms they passed. "Remarkable," she murmured, her eyes wide as she observed a group of crystalline beings float by. "The biodiversity here is astounding. Zethkora houses criminals from every corner of the known universe," Vexorn explained, unable to keep a note of pride from his voice. "Our facilities are equipped to handle any species, no matter how exotic." They reached the conference room, a large, circular chamber with a holographic display at its center. As everyone took their seats, Vexorn activated the security protocols, ensuring their conversation would remain private. "Now then," he began, his compound eyes fixed on Rodriguez. "You claim your people were unjustly imprisoned. On what grounds do you make this accusation?" Rodriguez leaned forward, her expression earnest. "We've received intelligence suggesting that the charges against our citizens were fabricated. We believe they were set up to take the fall for a crime they didn't commit." Vexorn's mandibles clicked skeptically. "And what crime would that be?" "The destruction of the Proxima Centauri wormhole," Rodriguez said quietly. The room fell silent. The Proxima Centauri incident had sent shockwaves through the galactic community. The destruction of the wormhole had cut off an entire sector, stranding billions and disrupting trade routes. It was one of the worst disasters in recent memory. "Impossible," Vexorn hissed. "The evidence was conclusive. Your humans were caught red-handed, as your species likes to say." Dr. Patel spoke up, her voice calm and measured. "We've uncovered data suggesting the evidence was tampered with. We believe our people were framed by a third party, one with a vested interest in sowing discord between humanity and the rest of the galactic community." Vexorn's mind raced. If what they were saying was true, it could have far-reaching implications, but he couldn't simply take their word for it. "These are serious allegations. Do you have proof?" Rodriguez nodded to Chen, who produced a small, glowing cube. "This data crystal contains all the information we've gathered. We're willing to share it with you, in the interest of justice and intergalactic cooperation." Vexorn hesitated, then reached for the cube. As his clawed hand closed around it, he felt a strange tingling sensation. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. "What's happening?" Vexorn demanded, leaping to his feet. Chen smiled, a predatory gleam in his eyes. "That, Commander, is the sound of justice being served." Before Vexorn could react, a blinding flash filled the room. When his vision cleared, the humans were gone, leaving behind only the faint scent of ozone and a growing sense of dread. As chaos erupted throughout Zethkora, Vexorn realized that the impenetrable fortress had just been breached. The hunt for the escaped humans, both the newly arrived team and the imprisoned ones, was about to begin. And with it, a new chapter in galactic history would be written. Little did Vexorn know that this was only the beginning of a series of events that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy and challenge everything he thought he knew about the nature of justice, imprisonment, and the indomitable spirit of humanity. Adapting to alien confinement, deep within the bowels of Zethkora, in a sector far removed from the commotion above, Dr. Samantha Reeves paced her cell. The containment field hummed softly, a constant reminder of her captivity. Her dark hair was streaked with premature gray, a testament to the stress of her imprisonment. "Sam, would you sit down? You're making me dizzy," grumbled her cellmate, Jack Morrison. The former Marine lounged on his bunk, his muscular frame at odds with their cramped surroundings. Samantha shot him an exasperated look. "How can you be so calm? We've been stuck here for months, accused of a crime we didn't commit." Jack shrugged. "Panicking won't help. Besides, I've got a feeling things are about to change." As if on cue, the lights in their cell flickered. The containment field wavered for a split second, barely noticeable, but enough to catch Samantha's attention. "Did you see that?" she whispered, eyes wide. Jack sat up, suddenly alert. "Yeah, something's happening." In the cell across from them, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka pressed his face against the energy barrier, his usually calm demeanor replaced by excitement. "Friends, I believe our rescue has finally arrived." The three humans had been thrown together in this alien prison, accused of destroying the Proxima Centauri wormhole. Samantha, a brilliant physicist; Jack, a decorated soldier; and Hiroshi, a renowned sinelinguist. They were an unlikely trio, but their shared predicament had forged a strong bond between them. "How can you be sure?" Samantha asked, hope and skepticism mooring in her voice. Hiroshi smiled, his eyes twinkling behind his glasses. "I've been studying our guards' language. There's been increased chatter about a human ship that arrived unexpectedly, and now these power fluctuations." He trailed off, letting the implication hang in the air. Jack grinned. "Told you. Never underestimate human ingenuity." As the prisoners speculated about their potential rescue, elsewhere in Zethkora, Captain Elena Rodriguez and her team were putting their plan into action. "Aisha, how's it coming?" Elena whispered into her comms as she and Marcus made their way through the prison's maintenance tunnels. Dr. Patel's voice crackled back, tinged with excitement. "Almost there, Captain. The prison's systems are incredibly advanced, but they never accounted for human hackers. Give me 2 more minutes, and I'll have control of the entire facility." Elena smiled. Human unpredictability was proving to be their greatest asset. The aliens had built an impregnable fortress, but they'd never faced an enemy quite like humanity before. "Marcus, plant the last charge here," she ordered, pointing to a junction box. "Once Aisha gives us control, we'll use these as a distraction." As Marcus set the explosive, Elena couldn't help but marvel at the alien technology surrounding them. Zethkora was a masterpiece of engineering, a testament to the Arxer Dominion's advanced civilization. And yet, here they were, 3 humans about to bring it all crashing down. "Charges set," Marcus reported, his voice grim. "Elena, are you sure about this? We're about to make a lot of enemies out there." Elena's expression hardened. "We're here to rescue our people and expose the truth. If that ruffles some alien feathers, so be it. Humanity won't stand idly by while injustice is committed, no matter how advanced the perpetrators might be." Their comms crackled to life. "Captain, it's done." Aisha's triumphant voice came through. "I have control of all systems, initiating prison-wide power fluctuations now." Throughout Zethkora, lights flickered and containment fields wavered. Aliens of all shapes and sizes looked around in confusion and growing panic. In the control room, Commander Vexorn was beside himself with rage. "How is this possible?" he chittered furiously. "Find those humans immediately." But the chaos was only beginning. With a series of carefully timed explosions, Elena's team triggered their charges. The blasts weren't meant to cause structural damage, but to sow confusion and mask their true objective. In their cell, Samantha, Jack, and Hiroshi felt the vibrations of the explosions. Moments later, their containment field disappeared completely. "This is it," Jack exclaimed, leaping to his feet. "Let's move." As alarms blared and panicked shouts echoed through the corridors, the 3 humans slipped out of their cell. Years of imprisonment hadn't dulled their skills. If anything, it had honed them to a razor's edge. "We need to find the others," Samantha said as they ran. There were at least a dozen other humans imprisoned here. Hiroshi nodded. Agreed. But first, we need to arm ourselves. This way. I've memorized the layout of this section. As they navigated the chaotic corridors of Zeth Korra, they encountered aliens of all kinds, prisoners and guards alike, all caught up in the mayhem. Some cowered in fear, others tried to take advantage of the situation to escape. Through it all, the humans moved with purpose, their goal clear. Meanwhile, Alina and her team were making their way to the rendezvous point. Aisha's voice guided them through the comms, warning of incoming security forces and suggesting alternate routes. Alina, we've got a problem, Aisha reported, her voice tense. I've detected a quantum encryption sequence initiating. They're trying to lock me out of the systems. Alina cursed under her breath. They were running out of time. How long can you hold them off? 10 minutes, maybe less, Aisha replied. After that, we're flying blind. As they rounded a corner, Alina and Marcus came face to face with a group of armed guards. For a moment, both sides froze, surprised by the encounter. Then, all hell broke loose. Marcus moved with inhuman speed, disarming the nearest guard and using him as a shield. Alina ducked and rolled, coming up with a stolen weapon in hand. Within seconds, the guards were neutralized. Nice moves, Alina panted, grinning at Marcus. He shrugged, a hint of a smile on his usually stoic face. All in a day's work, Captain. As they continued their advance, Alina couldn't shake the feeling that this was all too easy. The Arxer Dominion was supposed to be centuries ahead of humanity in technology. So why were they able to wreak such havoc? Her musings were interrupted by a shout from up ahead. Hey, a little help here. Alina's heart leaped. She recognized that voice. Rounding the corner, she saw Samantha, Jack, and Hiroshi engaged in a firefight with a group of security drones. Without hesitation, Alina and Marcus joined the fray. Their combined firepower made short work of the drones, leaving a pile of smoking metal in their wake. As the dust settled, Alina found herself face to face with the people they'd come to rescue. For a moment, no one spoke, the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. Then Jack broke into a wide grin. "Took you long enough," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. Alina laughed, the tension breaking. "Sorry for the delay. Traffic was hell." As they exchanged quick introductions, Hiroshi's expression grew serious. "Captain, we appreciate the rescue, but there's something you need to know. The destruction of the Proxima Centauri wormhole, it wasn't just a frame job. It's part of something much bigger." Alina's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean?" Samantha stepped forward, her face grim. "We've uncovered evidence of a conspiracy that goes beyond just the Arxer Dominion. Multiple species are involved, including some we thought were our allies." "But why?" Marcus asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. "Control," Jack said simply. "Humanity's rapid advancement scared them. They wanted to contain us, keep us isolated. The wormhole destruction was just the first step." The implications were staggering. If what they were saying was true, it meant that humanity's position in the galaxy was far more precarious than anyone had realized. Alina's comms crackled to life, interrupting her thoughts. "Captain, we're out of time." Aisha's panicked voice came through. "They've locked me out. All systems are rebooting." As if to emphasize her point, the lights around them flickered and died, plunging the corridor into darkness. When emergency power kicked in moments later, the soft hum of reactivating containment fields filled the air. "We need to move now," Alina ordered. "Aisha, meet us at extraction point Beta. Everyone else, stay close and be ready for anything." As they ran through the dimly lit corridors of Zeth Korra, alarms blaring around them, Alina's mind raced. They had come here to rescue a few unjustly imprisoned humans. Instead, they had stumbled upon a conspiracy that threatened the very future of humanity in the galaxy. One thing was clear: their escape from Zeth Korra was only the beginning. The real battle, it seemed, was just getting started. The great escape begins. The ragtag group of humans sprinted through the labyrinthine corridors of Zethkora, their footsteps echoing off the metallic walls. Alina led the way, her stolen alien weapon held at the ready. Behind her, Marcus brought up the rear, ensuring no one fell behind. Aisha, status report. Alina barked into her comms as they rounded another corner. Not good, Captain, came the breathless reply. I've managed to mask our life signs from their sensors, but it won't last long. And the extraction point, it's swarming with guards. Alina's mind raced, formulating and discarding plans in rapid succession. They needed a diversion, something big enough to draw attention away from their escape route. As if reading her thoughts, Samantha spoke up. Captain, I have an idea, but it's risky. At this point, Dr. Reeves, I'm all ears, Alina replied, gesturing for the group to take cover in an alcove. Samantha's eyes gleamed with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The prison's power core. It's based on contained singularity technology. If we could destabilize it, we'd create one hell of a distraction. Jack finished, a grin spreading across his face. Hiroshi looked alarmed, but the resulting gravitational fluctuations could tear this entire station apart. Exactly, Samantha nodded. We're not looking to destroy Zethkora, just create enough chaos to cover our escape. I can modulate the containment field to create a series of minor gravitational pulses. It'll wreak havoc on their systems without causing catastrophic damage. Alina weighed their options. It was a dangerous plan, but given their current situation, they were short on alternatives. All right, we'll split up. Samantha, Jack, Hiroshi, you three head for the power core. Marcus and I will continue to extraction point Beta and prep for our escape. Aisha, guide both teams and coordinate our efforts. As they prepared to separate, Alina caught Samantha's arm. Be careful, she said softly. And good luck. Samantha nodded, her expression determined. We'll see you on the other side, Captain. With a final nod, the two groups parted ways, each racing towards their objective. As Alina and Marcus made their way towards the extraction point, they could hear the sounds of chaos erupting throughout the station. Alarms blared, metallic voices shouted orders in alien languages, and the occasional explosion rocked the corridors. Quite a commotion we've stirred up, Marcus commented dryly as they ducked into a maintenance shaft to avoid a patrol. Alina allowed herself a small smile. That's humanity for you. We have a knack for causing trouble. Meanwhile, Samantha, Jack, and Hiroshi were making their way deeper into the bowels of Zethkora. The further they went, the more alien and incomprehensible their surroundings became. This way, Samantha whispered, gesturing towards a pulsing, opalescent barrier. The power core should be just beyond that containment field. Jack eyed the barrier skeptically. And how exactly are we supposed to get through that? Hiroshi stepped forward, his eyes narrowed in concentration. Allow me, he said, reaching out to touch the shimmering surface. His fingers danced across it, tracing complex patterns as he muttered under his breath. To Jack and Samantha's amazement, the barrier rippled and parted, creating an opening just large enough for them to slip through. How did you do that? Samantha asked, awestruck. Hiroshi smiled enigmatically. Let's just say I've picked up a few tricks during our stay here. Now, quickly, before it closes. They hurried through the opening, finding themselves in a vast chamber dominated by a swirling vortex of energy. The power core of Zethkora hung suspended in the center, a miniature black hole contained within layers of shimmering force fields. Samantha's eyes widened as she took in the sight. It's beautiful, she breathed. Then, shaking herself, she added, and incredibly dangerous. Let's get to work. As Samantha began interfacing with the alien technology, her fingers flying over holographic displays, Jack and Hiroshi stood guard. The chamber was eerily quiet, the low hum of the power core the only sound. I don't like this, Jack muttered, his soldier's instincts on high alert. It's too easy. As if summoned by his words, A deep, resonant voice filled the chamber. I quite agree, human. The three spun around to find Commander Vexorn emerging from the shadows, flanked by a squad of heavily armed guards. The insectoid alien's compound eyes gleamed with a mixture of anger and grudging respect. I must admit, your species continues to surprise me, Vexorn said, his mandibles clicking. But your little escapade ends here. Jack stepped forward, placing himself between the aliens and his friends. Sorry, Bugface, but we're not going back to our cells. Vexorn's antennae twitched in what might have been amusement. You misunderstand, human. I'm not here to recapture you. I'm here to offer you a choice. Samantha and Hiroshi exchanged confused glances. This was not how they expected this confrontation to go. What kind of choice? Samantha asked cautiously. Vexorn's compound eyes swiveled to focus on her. Dr. Reeves, your work on quantum entanglement is impressive, even by our standards. And Dr. Tanaka, your ability to decipher and manipulate alien languages is unprecedented. He turned to Jack. And you, Mr. Morrison, your combat prowess and tactical acumen have not gone unnoticed. You've all demonstrated skills and adaptability that, quite frankly, frighten many in the galactic community. Get to the point, Jack growled, his patience wearing thin. Vexorn's mandibles clacked in what might have been a sigh. The point, Mr. Morrison, is this. Join us. Your talents are wasted in a prison cell. With the resources of the Arxer Dominion at your disposal, imagine what you could achieve. For a moment, silence reigned in the chamber. Then, to everyone's surprise, Hiroshi began to laugh. It started as a low chuckle and quickly grew into full-blown laughter. I'm sorry, he said, wiping tears from his eyes. But do you really think we'd betray our own species after everything you've done? Samantha nodded, her expression hardening. We know about the conspiracy, Commander. The frame job, the isolation of Earth, all of it. Did you really think we'd side with the very beings who tried to stunt humanity's growth? Vexorn's antennae drooped slightly. I see. That is unfortunate. In that case, I'm afraid I have no choice but to. His words were cut off by a massive tremor that shook the entire chamber. Alarms blared as the power core's containment field fluctuated wildly. Samantha grinned triumphantly. Too late, Commander. The destabilization sequence has already begun. Chaos erupted in the chamber. As Vexorn and his guards stumbled, thrown off balance by the gravitational fluctuations, Jack sprang into action. With lightning-fast moves, he disarmed the nearest guard and tossed the weapon to Hiroshi. Go, he shouted to Samantha. Finish what you started. As Jack and Hiroshi engaged the guards in a firefight, Samantha raced back to the control panel. Her fingers flew over the alien interface, fine-tuning the destabilization sequence. Meanwhile, in another part of the station, Elena and Marcus had reached the extraction point. They found Aisha already there, her hands dancing over a portable holo-terminal. Cutting it a bit close, aren't we? Elena quipped as they arrived. Aisha looked up, relief evident on her face. Captain, I was beginning to worry. The others, still at the power core, Marcus replied, taking up a defensive position by the airlock. Any word from them? As if in answer, the station rocked with another gravitational pulse. Aisha's eyes widened as she looked at her readings. They did it. The power core's containment field is fluctuating. It's causing havoc with all systems ship-wide. Elena allowed herself a small smile. That's our cue. Aisha, get that airlock open. Marcus, cover us. We're getting out of here. Back in the power core chamber, the firefight had reached a stalemate. Jack and Hiroshi had taken cover behind alien machinery, exchanging fire with Vexorn's guards. The commander himself had disappeared in the chaos. Samantha, Jack called out, we need to go. Now. Samantha input the final command sequence and stepped back from the console. Done. This place is going to be a mess for weeks. As if to emphasize her point, Another gravitational pulse rocked the chamber. Equipment sparked and alien technology warped under the strain. "Time to make our exit," Hiroshi said, gesturing towards a maintenance hatch he'd spotted earlier. As they made their dash for freedom, none of them noticed the small, spider-like drone that detached itself from the shadows and scuttled after them. The three humans raced through Zeth Korra's twisting corridors, guided by Aisha's voice in their comms. All around them, the station was in chaos. Aliens of all species ran in panic. Containment fields flickered on and off, and the very structure of Zeth Korra groaned under the strain of the gravitational pulses. Almost there, Samantha panted as they rounded the final corner. They burst into the docking bay to find Alina, Marcus, and Aisha waiting for them by their ship. The sleek vessel's engines were already humming, ready for immediate takeoff. "Cutting it a bit close, aren't you?" Alina called out, relief evident in her voice. As the reunited team rushed towards their ship, a voice rang out behind them. "Stop right there, humans." They turned to see Commander Vexorn standing at the bay's entrance, his carapace scorched and his compound eyes blazing with fury. "You may escape today," the alien hissed, "but know this. You've made an enemy of the entire Arxur Dominion. There will be nowhere in this galaxy you can hide." Alina stepped forward, her expression defiant. "We're not hiding, Commander. We're going home. And then, we're coming back. For justice, for truth, and for the future of humanity in this galaxy." With those words, she turned and boarded the ship. As the airlock sealed behind them, Jack couldn't resist a parting shot. He stuck his head out and called, "Better luck next time, Bugface." The ship's engines roared to life, drowning out Vexorn's enraged chittering. As they blasted out of Zeth Korra's docking bay and into the star-studded expanse of space, the humans felt a mix of elation and trepidation. They had escaped the inescapable prison, but their journey was far from over. As Zeth Korra receded behind them, growing smaller against the backdrop of stars, they knew that the real challenge lay ahead. The conspiracy that had framed them, the forces that sought to contain humanity's potential, the secrets that lay hidden in the vast expanse of the galaxy, all of it waited for them. But for now, as Earth's coordinates were punched into the nav computer and the ship prepared to jump to faster-than-light speed, there was a moment of quiet triumph. They had done the impossible. They had escaped Zeth Korra, and in doing so, they had taken the first step towards changing the course of galactic history. As the stars blurred around them and the ship leaked into FTL, Alina voiced the thought on everyone's mind. "All right, Him. Let's go home and show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of." The adventure was just beginning. Chaos in the cosmos. The sleek human vessel, christened the HSS Defiant, streaked through the vast emptiness of space, its FTL drive humming with barely contained power. Inside, the mood was a mixture of elation and tension. They had achieved the impossible, escaping from the most secure prison in the known galaxy, but they all knew that their troubles were far from over. In the ship's command center, Alina stood before a holographic display of the local star systems, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Aisha, what's our status?" The xenobiologist looked up from her console, her dark eyes gleaming with excitement. "We're clear of Zeth Korra's sensor range, Captain. No signs of pursuit, yet." "Don't jinx it," Marcus muttered from his position at the weapons station. Samantha, who had been poring over the ship's schematics with undisguised fascination, spoke up. "This vessel, it's incredible. The technology is at least a century ahead of anything I've seen on Earth. How did you manage to build it?" Alina's expression turned grim. "We didn't. This ship was liberated from a secret Arxur research facility. It's how we managed to approach Zeth Korra undetected." A heavy silence fell over the room as the implication sank in. It was Hiroshi who finally broke it, his voice soft but determined. "We need to talk about what we discovered in Zeth Korra. The conspiracy goes deeper than we thought." Jack nodded, his soldier's instincts on high alert. "Agreed. We can't go back to Earth without a plan. If what we uncovered is true, our entire planet could be at risk. Helena took a deep breath, then gestured for everyone to gather around the holographic display. All right, let's hear it. What exactly did you find out during your imprisonment? For the next hour, Samantha, Jack, and Hiroshi took turns explaining their discoveries. They spoke of intercepted transmissions, overheard conversations between guards, and pieced together fragments of information. A picture began to emerge, one of a galaxy-wide conspiracy to contain and control humanity's rapid advancement. It's not just the Arxer, Samantha explained, her voice tight with anger. Multiple species are involved, including some we thought were our allies. They're terrified of our potential. Hiroshi nodded, his usually calm demeanor replaced by quiet intensity. The destruction of the Proxima Centauri wormhole wasn't just about framing us. It was a calculated move to isolate Earth, to cut us off from rapid expansion into the galaxy. But why? Aisha asked, her scientific curiosity piqued. What makes humans so special? Jack let out a humorless chuckle. Apparently, we're too adaptable for our own good. Most species took millennia to reach the stars. We did it in less than a century after splitting the atom. It scares the hell out of them. Elena absorbed this information, her mind racing with the implications. So, what's their endgame? They can't keep us isolated forever. No, Samantha agreed. But they can slow us down, control our access to advanced technology, manipulate our place in galactic politics. They want to ensure we remain a minor player, never reaching our full potential. As the group discussed strategies and theories, none of them noticed the small, spider-like drone that had stowed away on their ship. Hidden in a maintenance duct, its single eye blinked steadily, transmitting everything it saw and heard back to Zethkora. Meanwhile, light years away, Commander Vexorn stood before the Arxer High Council, his carapace still bearing scorch marks from the prison break. The chamber was filled with beings of various species, all united in their concern over recent events. This is unprecedented. A crystalline being chimed, its faceted body refracting light in agitation. No one has ever escaped from Zethkora before. The humans must be neutralized before word of this spreads. A gaseous entity pulsed with agreement. We should mobilize the fleet immediately. Destroy their ship before it reaches Earth. We cannot allow them to share what they've learned. Vexorn's antennae twitched in disagreement. With all due respect, council members, a direct assault would be unwise. It would only confirm humanity's suspicions and potentially unite them against us. Then what do you suggest, Commander? The question came from a shadowy figure at the head of the council, its features obscured by a shimmering veil of energy. Vexorn's compound eyes gleamed with a mixture of respect and fear as he addressed the Supreme Counselor. We have an asset on board their ship, a surveillance drone that managed to attach itself during the escape. I propose we use it to monitor their plans and manipulate events to our advantage. The Supreme Counselor was silent for a long moment, considering. Finally, it spoke, its voice a harmonious blend of tones that seemed to resonate on multiple frequencies simultaneously. Very well, Commander. We will follow your recommendation. For now. But be warned. If the humans reach Earth with their knowledge intact, the consequences for our civilization could be dire. As the council session ended and the various beings filed out, Vexorn couldn't shake a lingering doubt. He had seen firsthand what humans were capable of. Had they underestimated this young species? And if so, what would be the cost of their miscalculation? Back on the HS Defiant, the escaped prisoners and their rescuers were formulating a plan. They couldn't return to Earth directly, not without risking the safety of their homeworld. Instead, they needed allies, proof of the conspiracy, and a way to level the playing field. We need to make contact with other species who aren't part of this conspiracy, Elena declared. There must be some in the galaxy who don't fear humanity's potential. Hiroshi nodded enthusiastically. During my imprisonment, I heard whispers of a group called the Cosmic Concordat. They're said to be advocates for free exchange of knowledge and technology between all sentient species. Sounds like our kind of people, Jack said with a grin. Any idea where we can find them? Aisha, who had been quiet for much of the discussion, suddenly perked up. Wait, I think I might know. Before this mission, I was studying anomalous energy readings from the Carina Nebula. The patterns were unlike anything we'd seen before, suggesting incredibly advanced technology. Samantha's eyes widened in realization. The cosmic concordat could be behind those readings. If they're as advanced as we think, they might have the resources and influence to help us expose the conspiracy. Elena nodded, a spark of hope igniting in her chest. It's our best lead. Aisha, set a course for the Carina Nebula. Marcus, keep our defenses on high alert. I have a feeling our escape hasn't gone unnoticed. As the HSS Defiant changed course, its engines pulsing with renewed purpose, the small drone in the maintenance duct continued its silent vigil. Unbeknownst to the humans, their every move, every plan, was being transmitted across the stars to those who sought to control humanity's destiny. The race was on. The humans, armed with their newfound knowledge and unbreakable determination, versus a coalition of advanced species with millennia of experience in galactic politics and cosmic warfare. The outcome of this conflict would shape the future of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. As they journeyed towards the Carina Nebula and the promise of allies, Elena couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were about to dive headfirst into a cosmic game of chess, where the stakes were nothing less than the future of their species. Well, she muttered to herself as she gazed out at the star-streaked vista of FTL travel. They wanted to see humanity's potential. Looks like they're about to get a front-row seat. Little did she know, the greatest challenges and the most astonishing revelations still lay ahead. The true nature of the galaxy and humanity's place in it was far more complex and awe-inspiring than any of them could have imagined. As the HSS Defiant hurtled towards its destination, the next chapter of humanity's cosmic adventure was about to unfold. A new galactic order. The Carina Nebula loomed before the HSS Defiant, a cosmic tapestry of swirling gases and newborn stars. As they approached, the ship's sensors began picking up the anomalous energy readings Aisha had mentioned. It's incredible, Samantha breathed, her eyes wide as she studied the data streaming across her console. These energy signatures, they're like nothing I've ever seen before. It's as if they're bending the very fabric of space-time. Elena nodded, her face set in determination. Can you localize the source? Aisha's fingers flew over her holographic interface. I think so. There's a particularly strong concentration coming from. Wait, that can't be right. What is it? Jack asked, leaning over her shoulder. Aisha looked up, her expression a mixture of awe and disbelief. It's coming from inside a black hole. A stunned silence fell over the bridge. It was Hiroshi who finally broke it, his voice quiet but intense. The cosmic concordat. If they've managed to harness the power of a black hole, then they're even more advanced than we thought. Elena finished. She took a deep breath, squaring her shoulders. All right, team. This is it. Aisha, take us in. Everyone else, be ready for anything. As the Defiant approached the black hole, alarms suddenly blared to life. Marcus's hands flew over his weapons console. Multiple contacts incoming. They just appeared out of nowhere. Before anyone could react, the ship was enveloped in a shimmering field of energy. The stars outside the viewscreen distorted, and for a moment, reality itself seemed to bend. When everything stabilized, they found themselves in a vast, gleaming docking bay, unlike anything they'd ever seen. We're inside the black hole, Samantha whispered, her scientific mind reeling at the impossibility of it all. A melodious voice filled the bridge, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Welcome, humans. We've been expecting you. The airlock opened, revealing a being of pure energy. its form shifting and flowing like liquid light. "I am Zinixar, representative of the Cosmic Concordat. Please, follow me. There is much to discuss." As the stunned humans disembarked, they found themselves in a city that defied comprehension. Structures of impossible geometry floated in a sky that shimmered with the energies of the black hole, held at bay by technology beyond their wildest dreams. Zinixar led them to a grand chamber where beings of various species, some recognizable, others utterly alien, waited. At the center stood a holographic representation of the galaxy, spinning slowly. "We have watched your species with great interest," Zinixar began, its voice resonating on multiple levels. "Your escape from Zethkora was impressive." Elena stepped forward, her voice steady despite her awe. "Then you know why we're here. The conspiracy against humanity is real." Another being finished. This one appeared as a shifting mass of tentacles and eyes. "But it is not what you think." Over the next few hours, the Cosmic Concordat revealed a truth that shook the humans to their core. The conspiracy wasn't just about containing humanity. It was a test, a gauntlet thrown down by the elder races of the galaxy to see if humanity was ready for the truth. "You see," Zinixar explained, its form pulsing with excitement, "humanity is not just another spacefaring race. You are the inheritors of a legacy left behind by the precursors, the first sentient beings in our galaxy." Samantha's eyes widened in realization. "Our adaptability, our rapid advancement, all part of your genetic heritage, the tentacle being confirmed. The precursors seeded many worlds, but Earth was special. You were to be their successors, meant to bring balance to a galaxy that had grown stagnant." "But why the deception?" Jack demanded. "Why frame us, imprison us?" Zinixar's form dimmed slightly, a gesture they took for regret. "Some feared your potential. Others wanted to ensure you were worthy of the power you might one day wield. The Zethkora incident was the final test, to see if you could overcome impossible odds, to prove your resilience and ingenuity." Elena absorbed this information, her mind racing. "So what happens now?" The holographic galaxy at the center of the room zoomed in on Earth. "Now," Zinixar said, "you have a choice. You can return home with this knowledge, to lead humanity into a new era of galactic politics and cosmic exploration. Or, Hiroshi prompted, or you can join us, the tentacle being finished. The Cosmic Concordat has guided the galaxy for eons. With humanity's potential added to our ranks, we could usher in a new age of discovery and harmony." The humans exchanged glances, the weight of this decision heavy on their shoulders. They had come seeking allies, and found something far greater, the truth about their species' destiny. Elena stepped forward, her voice filled with determination. "We're honored by your offer, but our place is with our people. Earth needs to know the truth. Humanity deserves the chance to chart its own course among the stars." Zinixar's form brightened in what seemed to be approval. "A wise choice. Know then that the Cosmic Concordat will stand with humanity as you take your place in the galactic community." As the humans prepared to depart, armed with knowledge that would forever change Earth's future, Zinixar had one final revelation. "The drone that followed you from Zethkora, we've neutralized it. But its presence serves as a reminder. The road ahead will not be easy. There are those who still fear your potential, who will resist the change you represent." Elena nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Let them try. Humanity has proven we're up for any challenge." As the HSS Defiant departed the black hole sanctuary, its crew felt a mixture of excitement and trepidation. They were returning home not just as escaped prisoners, but as harbingers of a new era for humanity. Earth's horizon came into view, a blue marble suspended in the void. Elena took a deep breath, looking at her crew, no, her family, who had been through so much together. "Well," she said, her voice filled with determination, "let's go change the galaxy." As they began their descent, they knew that this was not the end of their adventure, but merely the beginning. Humanity was about to step onto the galactic stage, ready to claim its destiny among the stars. The prison break that had started it all now seemed like a distant memory. Before them lay a future filled with endless possibilities, cosmic wonders, and challenges that would push humanity to its limits. But if their journey had proven anything, it was this. When pushed to the brink, humans don't just survive, they thrive. As the HSS Defiant streaked across Earth's sky, a new chapter in human history began to unfold. The galaxy would never be the same again.